What's going on, oxygen-breathing humans? Roman here, bringing you an episode of the Short Gainz. Today we're covering practical applications of stretching and the warm-up. We're going to go over some definitions of stretching. I'm going to show you some examples of stretching, and we're going to equip your toolbox so next time you go in the gym, you're going to crush it with how you apply stretching and the warm-up. Tune in, folks. I want to go over some definitions of stretching. So as you can see here, this is an example of a groin active static stretch, which can be defined as applying an outside force other than gravity to ensure an elongation of a muscle, and could be very useful for ensuring that if you have a wider squat stance, that you're able to get that deep into the squat and make sure you're getting a good full range of motion. Here I'm demonstrating a calf stretch. Also, this could be very useful for certain squat positions, maybe even for your deadlift if you have certain explosive movements which require your calf muscle to be able to change positions relatively quickly. Once again, this would be considered a static stretch and should most of the time be used after your training or your workout, as this type of stretching can cause a relaxation effect depending on how long you end up holding the stretch, and could overall reduce force output. Now, if this is the type of stretching you're used to and it allows you to essentially quote-unquote feel good about your workout, you may be willing to accept that there's reduced force output and still incorporate this in the beginning of your workout. Here I'm demonstrating what I call a dead hang. Sometimes I'll do this after a lower body session where I load my spine quite a bit, such as when I do heavy squats and heavy deadlifts. This can be deemed a passive static stretch because it allows gravity to passively add tension to a muscle to bring it into an elongated position. Here's an example of a dynamic warm-up. This is just a reverse lunge. I really like dynamic warm-ups or dynamic stretching, which I like to define as or think of as moving a muscle or muscle group through a range of motion in order to induce a warm-up effect and to induce increased range of motion through the desired movement pattern. So in this example, a lunge. So if I'm going to be doing any type of lunge or squat movement, this is very helpful. Lastly, I wanted to show an example of self-myofascial release. Here I'm demonstrating using a foam roller. You can also use a tool like a lacrosse ball, and essentially the benefits of self-myofascial release are that you get a localized warming effect of the muscle, and it's a good dynamic movement for warming up the muscles and priming the main muscles you're going to use during a particular movement pattern. So for example, I'm foam rolling the hamstrings. You may find this beneficial before you do a movement like an RDL or a straight leg deadlift, ham curls as an example. Thanks for watching another episode of the Short Gainz, folks. Hope you learned something. If you liked the video, give us a like. If you like our content, hit that subscribe button. If there's anything you'd like to see in future videos, please let us know in the comment section below. Have a good one, folks.